Have you guys ever buried some treasure before? Probably not, I'm guessing. It's not something the average person does in life. Perhaps that's why we're so fascinated about the stories of people burying or losing their treasure, especially when it could still be out there right now for you to find. Which one of these looks like the safest bet? My name is Danny Burke and this is the top 10 treasures you can still find today. Starting off at number 10 now, we have Dutch Schultz's fortune. Dutch Schultz was an American mobster who amassed an absolute fortune in the 20s and 30s through organized crime, bootlegging and racketeering. In 1933, he was said to have hidden $7 million in cash in an airtight safe somewhere in New York's Catskills Mountains. He did this because he thought he was about to go to jail for tax evasion and wanted to protect his money for when he made it out. In the end, he didn't get a long sentence, but was fatally shot just 2 years later. His last words seemed to give clues about where the hidden safe was, but it wasn't very clear. Every year, a group of treasure hunters meet in the Catskills Mountains to look for the Schultz treasure. They've had no luck yet, but there's always next year. Next up at number 9 now, we have Butch Cassidy. He was an American criminal legend and a name that often comes up in any conversation about the Wild West. His gang was called the Wild Bunch and they would rob banks, trains and businessmen. They ended up with an insane amount of wealth, but as you might expect, they lived their lives on the run from the law. Because of this, the gang was said to have buried $21,000 in a place called Irish Canyon while traveling through Moffat County in Colorado. It's not a very big place, and those who believe the story are determined to find it one day. Coming at number 8 now, we have the Golden Owl. Regis Horsa was a French writer and puzzle designer who went by the name Max Valentin. He once wrote a book called On the Trail of the Golden Owl. It contained 11 clues for discovering a golden owl which he buried 80 inches deep into the ground somewhere in France. He buried this golden owl on April 24th, 1993 at 3:30 am. Since then, nobody has found it. Now he expected that someone would find the owl in less than 14 months. He was wrong. He spent 450 hours on designing the clues that go along with this. You can check out the official website, and if you're ever in France, try and follow the clues that lead to the famous golden owl. At number 7 now, we have the Lost Dutchman's Gold Mine. This is perhaps the most famous lost mine in American history. In the 19th century, Jacob Waltz was a German immigrant to the US who claimed he had rediscovered a lost gold mine in the Superstition Mountains of central Arizona. It contained a fortune's worth of gold, but Jacob never told anyone its location except for his carer on his deathbed. She was unable to decipher exactly what he meant though, and since then countless explorers have set out trying to find the Lost Dutchman's Gold Mine. Moving on to number 6 now, we have the Fenn treasure. This is a treasure reportedly worth millions of dollars, said to be hidden somewhere in the Rocky Mountains by author Forrest Fenn. He left $1 to $3 million worth of gold, jewelry and other valuable artifacts for people to find. Why did he do this? Well, Fenn said he just wanted to give people some hope. He's left a number of clues which many have solved. He said that some people have even come within just 200 feet of the treasure, but it still remains hidden. Next up at number 5 now, we have the ciphers. Legend has it that in 1816 a man called Thomas Beale was with a few men mining in the Rocky Mountains when they discovered a huge amount of gold and silver. By today's estimates, it's thought to be worth around $63 million. They wanted to make sure that their next of kin would get the treasure if they died, so they hid it somewhere and wrote 3 ciphers. The first cipher told the location of the treasure, the second described the contents of the treasure, and the third was a list of the men's names and their next of kin. Beale left it with a friend and told him to wait 10 years before opening them. If he hadn't returned by that point, a key to the cipher was supposed to be mailed to the friend. It never came though. Since then, code breakers all over the world have tried to decode the ciphers and discover where the treasure is. Next up at number 4 now, we have Qin Shi Huang. He was the first emperor of a unified China in the 3rd century BC. He was so revered that when he died, his tomb was essentially a vast underground city surrounded by his famous terracotta soldiers. That was all discovered in 1974, but archaeologists believe there is much more still to find down there. They have to be careful though, because the mercury in the ground could poison the underground streams. Who will be the first to find the treasures that are yet to be found? Next up at number 3 now, we have the treasure at Little Bighorn. Some of you guys may have heard of the Battle of Little Bighorn with General Custer's last stand. Well, just before the men went into battle, they were given 4 months of back pay in the form of gold, silver and money. As you guys may know, they lost the battle. The Native Americans stripped the dead bodies of all their belongings, including the gold and silver, and hid it all in a secret location. According to the story, Two Moons, a Cheyenne chieftain, told a trader about the lost Custer treasure and drew a map for him, but to this day the treasure has never been found. Moving on to number 2 now, we have the Pearls of the Salton Sea. This story goes that in 1615 Spanish explorer Juan de Iturbe embarked on a pearl harvesting expedition in the Gulf of California. A high tide left him in the Salton Sea and unable to escape, and so he abandoned his ship with a fortune of black pearls on board. There have been reports of the treasure being found in the hundreds of years since then, but no real evidence. This has led many modern treasure hunters to believe the black pearls are still out there waiting to be claimed. And finally, number 1 now, we have the Lake Toplitz Gold. This lake is situated in the forest of the Austrian Alps. Its seclusion led the Nazis to use it as a naval testing station during the Second World War. When the war looked like it was going to be lost, the Nazis began dumping all their valuables into the lake, which has a max depth of 338 feet. Some say they poured a fortune's worth of gold and diamonds overboard just so the Allies couldn't get their hands on them. Many divers and treasure hunters have died while searching for the gold and diamonds, which is still thought to be on the lake's floor. Alright guys, that's all I've got time for in today's video. Which was your favorite treasure story? Which one of those seems like the easiest to find in the world? Let me know all of your thoughts. My name is Danny Burke. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.